I tried the low carb diet and gained weight. How the f did that happen? Well, I recently came off of a low calorie diet. I got respectably lean, took some photos, as you do, but I wanted to make sure I didn't do what I've done in the past and what a lot of people do after a diet, which is blow right back up. So I decided to experiment with a low carb diet to see if I can eat comfortable amounts of food while remaining lean. Now, I love my carbs. I've never been a huge advocate on low carb and keto diets. I've just never found them to be terribly sustainable. For me, you do whatever you want to do. The end of my diet was quite aggressive. Pretty large calorie deficit by the end of it, so I was ravenously hungry. I filled my shopping cart with everything low carb I could find, but I also didn't want to rely on all those snacks you see that say keto friendly. Those are bullshit. For anyone trying to go keto, just because it says keto friendly doesn't mean you get to eat as much of it as you want and stay in ketosis. Staying in ketosis can be somewhat difficult if you don't know how to go about it correctly. Anywho, I went for mostly naturally low carb foods, all kinds of meats, obviously, cheeses, no sugar added peanut butter, some nuts, some avocados, plenty of fibrous veggies, that kind of thing. I did load up on some low carb protein cookies and Lily's chocolate bars to curb my sweet tooth. But that backfired majorly. I'll get into that in a moment. I started along my merry way and began to eat all my low carb items until I was full. I also started to pack on the pounds quickly. This is why low carb diets aren't for everyone. For me, it doesn't matter how low my carbs are, my appetite will allow me to easily eat well over my body's maintenance calories for the day, which means weight gain. You'll hear a lot of keto advocates say, eat until full. Keto will make you less hungry. Some of us just have ravenous appetites. Look, my goal was never to be in ketosis regardless, but even if I wanted to, there's no way that would happen anyway, simply from the amount of food I've been allowing myself by eating until satiated. The small amount of carbs in the nuts and avocados alone would no doubt add up and never allow me to get into ketosis in the first place. I thought maybe after a while my appetite would normalize, but nah. It's been about 4 weeks now and I'm still hungry as shit and I'm still gaining weight. Too many people think that you can just go keto or low carb and lose weight. And it's quite upsetting when many low carb advocates say calories don't count. Freaking bullshit. That's like saying E equals MC squared doesn't apply to you. It applies to everything. Unless you've got a better equation that sums up the transfer of energy for the universe. Well, do you? No, I didn't think so. And that's what weight loss is. It's simply a transfer of energy. Food is potential energy. It's eaten and turned into mechanical energy and heat when we move around and work out and just go about our daily lives. This mechanical and heat energy mostly comes from stored glucose inside the muscles and fat stores under the skin and around the organs. Weight loss is just a balancing act. To lose the fat, you just need to use more energy than you're consuming. And I'll tell you what, oftentimes people will see weight loss after starting a low carb diet. Why? Because now they've put down the cookies and the ice cream, the pizza, which are super calorie dense, and if you're eating less of that, then you're likely eating less calories. And generally speaking, when people go on any type of diet, they also tend to increase their exercise, which also helps you burn more calories throughout the day. This isn't magic, it's just the law of thermodynamics.
Enough said.
Here's what I think my biggest fatal flaw was going into the low carb thing, and something you should keep in mind if you're thinking about low carbing it yourself. I've got a major sweet tooth, so I thought I should keep some sweet tasting but low carb snacks around to munch on after meals or whenever I had a craving. All this did was make it worse. I just wanted sugar even more after the first bite. It opened up my sugar floodgates. It was like my body was physically sugar depleted and craving it, and then the sweet sensation my brain would get from the low calorie and artificial sweeteners would turn me into some kind of cookie monster, and it would take a certain willpower to stop eating or just give in and eat all the cookies and chocolate until I was full and wake up with like, well, have you ever seen those Amazon reviews about the sugar-free gummy bears? It was like that. With all that said, here's what I actually really like about the low carb diet. Without a doubt, I have much more sustained energy throughout the day. Why? Because fat and protein have a negligible effect on blood sugar. My energy and blood sugar have been much more stable throughout the day. For me, it's never mattered whether I was eating high glycemic or low glycemic carbs. I would always feel like I wanted to take a nap after eating carbohydrates. I felt kind of foggy all the time, so I tried to eat my carbs later in the day when I was winding down. This effect on blood sugar is why the low carb and keto diet can also be great with those with type 2 diabetes. It has worked wonders in that department, often reversing the disease entirely. So there's something to the low carb diet, but it's on a case-by-case basis. And in most cases, it's merely preference. Not everyone who tries it will lose weight. I'm proof of that. If I start eating less, I'll no doubt start to lose weight, but it won't be because of the carbs. It'll be because I've lowered my calories enough to transfer the energy in my fat cells to heat energy. If you need help losing weight, feel free to check out some of my other videos. Remember, fitness and fat loss isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, so some of the info I share, you'll use. Some may not be for you specifically, but I'm always posting new content. Thank you so much for watching. As for this video, we're done here.